us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the January 12th, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. Meeting. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1. Good morning. And Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get started. First item, please.
Proclamations, presentations. Number 1, presentation of report of inter-city visit to Des Moines, Iowa.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Curtis Sneeden. I am the Executive Vice President of the Greater Topeka Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes of your time this morning to chat with you about an event that we held in October, and all three of you were a part of. On the morning of October 12th, about 75 local business and civic leaders boarded buses here in Topeka and took our annual expedition to Des Moines, Iowa. It was a record-breaking event for the Chamber of Commerce, and I think by all accounts a very productive use of 3 days up in Iowa. While we were there, we toured downtown Iowa, or downtown Des Moines. We spent some time in a very interesting enclave in Des Moines called East Village. We toured a variety of sites up there, including their baseball stadium, Principal Park. We spent some time in their Iowa Event Center, their Wells Fargo Arena, their Hy-Vee Convention Center, an enormous facility that we learned about there in Des Moines. We learned about the Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families, which is a very impressive program they have, which helps less advantaged citizens of Des Moines transition into the workforce. We learned about the Des Moines Area Community College, the group that they have, which they call the Des Moines Partnership, which is the constellation of organizations, all of which are working to grow their economy and make their future brighter. And we learned about the Young Professionals Connection up there, as well as their visioning process, which they call Capital Crossroads. Now, especially since all three of our commissioners were there, and I do want to make a special point of thanking you for your support of this endeavor, and I trust that you found it to be a good use of your time. I'm a little reluctant to sum up our experience because whatever impressions I may have garnered ought not to be superimposed over yours. But it does seem to me, based on discussions we had on the buses coming home and the briefing we had a few weeks later, that some themes did emerge. One of the themes is this idea of partnership. It is quite apparent from spending time with the individuals in Des Moines who are doing some of the types of work that we're doing here in Topeka, that they have developed a very effective approach for working in concert with one another. They take the word partnership very seriously, and they have benefited from that. They also have a very regional approach to their economic development and their quality of life development, and that has paid dividends. And we also learned that there is something to be said for just deciding that you're going to be proud of your community and expressing that pride to, in their case, the entire world. We heard some very impressive statistics that they had along those lines. Now, I also think it was helpful to visit a city like Des Moines, which is larger than Topeka, but not so much larger that we can't aspire to achieve some of the types of growth that they have enjoyed. And it was interesting to note that in at least a couple of ways that come to mind, Topeka is in fact doing things really well and potentially better. So for example, we took a little bit of time to tour the area called West Des Moines, where we saw a great deal of development. There are a number of nice new shopping centers in West Des Moines in places that were just cornfields just a few years ago. But obviously it's a matter of opinion. I didn't see any development that struck me as particularly innovative or interesting. It's nice and new, but here in a period of months, we here in Topeka are going to see some development out on 29th and Fairlawn, which is going to be quite innovative and quite interesting. It'll be called Wheatfield Village, and I think once that has blossomed fully, that will be something we can point to as a type of development that folks in Des Moines might be interested in learning more about. Also, the Young Professionals Program, we learned that their group called YPC, Young Professional Connection, they were pretty proud to have grown about 10% last year. They're at about 600 members. Well, the group we have here in town called Forge, which is our Young Professionals group, has about 1,200 members. It's grown, I think, exponentially here in just a matter of months. So we're obviously doing something right there, too. So we learned a lot about what Des Moines is doing right, but I think we also validated a number of things that we're doing well here. So after what I hope is not an unduly elongated gestation period, it is my honor this morning to present to you the final report on Expedition 2016 to Des Moines. And I'd be happy to chat with you further or answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis. Commissioner Bueller, do you have any thoughts?
I think it was noted a couple different times how persistent Des Moines has been, that they've been working at this for over 10 years, I think, and so I think the same thing holds true for our community. Just continue to work hard and think big on our projects and what we're offering in our community. So it was a good trip. Yeah, definitely.
Good. Commissioner.
Commissioner Archer, Commissioner Bueller and I had an opportunity to speak with a county official from Des Moines that would be in a like position as we are, and I think that was very enlightening. Some of the things that they experience that are similar, some of their experiences that are different, things that they do that maybe we can enhance some of the things that we do, and that's really the whole point of the interlocal visit, is being able to draw back and look at things that the communities are doing right, things that didn't work so that we can avoid the pitfalls, but having some time to reflect. I think the Davis Center is really what sticks out to me. It didn't at the time, but as time is reflected, what they have at that facility and the things they're able to do, I think we really look at the Dillon's building at Huntoon and Lane, and with Grace Med going in there, and I see a lot of similarities in what that space has to offer the community through educational training, through job assistance, through health care, and just really, I hope that we're able to replicate something similar to that in our own community. Thank you.
Thank you. To me, I thought it was a very successful trip. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to go, and I think it did validate some of the things that we're doing here. But another benefit I saw was spending time on the bus with other community leaders in Topeka and forming a better bond and a better relationship with some of them. The people now you can call on if you have questions or suggestions about the future of our community. And I thought that was a very positive thing. So very well done on the Chamber's part.
Thank you.
I thought it was very successful. So, and thank you for reporting on it this morning.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, Curtis. All right. Next item, please.
Number 2, presentation on K-State Research and Extension Council programming.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Susan Fangman with the Extension Office, and I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences agent there. Thank you for a little bit of time this morning to give you a brief update on one of the programs that I've been working on. As you may have seen in our Making a Difference report, our office provided Medicare Part D counseling to 205 individuals this past enrollment period. We helped our clients compare plans, consider convenience of pharmacy, look into mail order possibilities, help them understand the lingo, and screen them for the eligibility of extra help. We helped 90 individuals change plans this year, saving them an estimated $73,482. 21 of our beneficiaries saved over $1,000, and 4 of those 21 saved over $4,000 just by changing plans. I have been visiting with my family and friends and those around the community about my job, and I've been telling them about the Medicare counseling that I provide. I have found many people who are unaware of the fact that you can change your prescription drug plan every year, and I've run across even more people who think it is too complicated, so they don't do it. They don't realize that they have resources, like the Extension Office, to help them, and that it can save them thousands of dollars annually. My own dad did not get signed up for a drug plan during his initial enrollment period, and he had been without prescription drug coverage for 5 years. He was really concerned about what the penalty would be until he and I sat down, put pencil to paper, and found out it was not going to be near as much as what he thought. He is now signed up for prescription drug coverage after not having any for 5 years. He's covered in case his penalty has quit growing because we've got him signed up, but more importantly, he's covered in the event he have a health crisis that could cost him thousands and thousands of dollars in medication. He immediately called his brother and a friend in a similar situation and advised them to get counseling in their area. Some people I have visited with rely on their pharmacy to provide counseling. The pharmacy will find the best plan for them using their pharmacy. They won't show them that they could save money by going to a different place. For some of our clients on restricted budgets, they are watching every penny, and this makes a big difference. A particular client was only interested in going to a certain pharmacy. We discussed her willingness to change if it would save her some money. She assured me it would not make a big difference, but we did look into it. Her prescriptions at her pharmacy were going to be $725 for the year. In looking at other pharmacy possibilities, we saved her $385. She was very surprised, but glad to save some money. I have found while counseling a couple of people that were not taking their prescriptions as their doctor prescribed them because they were expensive. A particular woman started buying an over-the-counter version of her medicine, but the dosage wasn't exactly the same, and she didn't think it was working as well. Well, this was news to her husband, who was also in at the counseling appointment. We were able to find a plan where she was able to get her prescription for $8 a month. Going forward, I plan to reach new audiences, educating Medicare beneficiaries about the importance of looking at your plan every single year. And I'm working on ways to counsel with more people this coming year because I think that's really important, including teaching some classes. I have found that the residents I'm working with through senior health insurance counseling are very grateful for the help they get at the Extension office. And not only does this program provide positive benefit to those that we help, it is a positive financial impact on our economy. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Susan? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for updating us. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for letting us come in. I'm Leroy Russell. I'm the agriculture agent for Shawnee County and work with K-State Research and Extension. A lot of you think probably we're an urban county, we don't need agriculture, but we have a very large agriculture community. There's 826 farms, land, there's about 194,000 acres that are in either crop, pasture, or hay ground. And we are an industry between crops and livestock. It's a little over $50 million that comes in for Shawnee County farmers and ranchers. Each year, we take a look at what the issues are with agriculture. And I have a program development committee for agriculture that is community elected each year to help me with what the issues are in the county. The issues then we put into programs. And probably the top issue right now is in agriculture, we have quite a downturn in prices between livestock and crops. Both are way down. On the state average, for our 5-year average, we've averaged for farms and ranches, $121,000 income per farm and ranch. Some of them are very large. Last year, our average was a little over $4,000. And so those farms and ranches were trying to survive on $4,000. So we're trying to bring in some to kind of talk about what we do to help our farmers and ranchers survive this downturn. And we've had many downturns, and this is one of the biggest in history. They kind of compare it to the 1980s when we had lots of foreclosures and we had lots of, where they're selling farms, and they're starting to do that now.
one that we're doing next week, and we have about 75 signed up to attend at this time. It'll be here in Shawnee County. We have a lot of our state people, and that's part of that partnership with K-State Research and Extension. They come out and help us with our programs. So the Ag Econ department from K-State will be coming out and sharing ideas of what we do, like cost of production, how to work with capital, how to work with FSA loans, Farm Service Agency loans. What do you pay for leased ground? How do you manage machinery? Farm safety nets, income tax management, retiring. How do you get it transferred to the next generation? Even family living expenses, how to reduce those and get your family living expenses. If you got $4,000 some profit for the year, that doesn't leave much for family living. And so they got to do some planning. So we're hoping to give them some ideas to do it. Again, we're doing that next Thursday at the Farm Bureau office. And then we have some other classes that we're doing, coffee, cookies, and conversation, where we bring them in on different subjects. We have a new law that went in January 1st that any feeds with antibiotics has to have a prescription to it. In the years past, they did not have to do that. So we're trying to educate and that's come down from the state and federal for that regulation. So if you got even milk replacer with some antibiotics in it, you got to have a prescription from a veterinarian. So we're trying to work with our farmers. We have a local veterinarian come in. Premier Farm and Home is going to talk about how they do the prescriptions, and then the state comes out and talks about the rules and the laws. And we give them updates on stream bank and pond care, pollinator habitats, and then farm income taxes. We have a specialist that comes out and kind of talks to them about some things that they can do to help them on that. And then we have a conference, also Ag Stewardship, that we do an all day. We've had as many as 350 at this one, and we'll probably get quite a few. We have Ag Law and Taxation. Roger McGowan be coming out to talk. Tom Leffler with a commodities broker, and then Forrest Bueller, which it works with mediation, and that is a group in K-State that works with our farmers and our bankers to try to get them to either reset their, what they're going to do on loans if they're starting to go under. So it's helpful. And then we have our John Wellborn, noxious weed person, is going to talk to them about weeds and how to control weeds and things. And then we have, they're starting to do drones in agriculture quite a bit. We have drones that will go out and will tell you if you got an insect problem, you got a fungus problem on your crops, and just flying over and give a feedback of what your problem is on it. We also have drones that can go out to your cattle operation, and there's monitors you can put on your cattle that will tell them, that you got a temperature in this one, and you got some sickness, and then monitor it that way. So it's amazing what they're starting to do with the technology in agriculture. And of course, the tractors that now drive themselves with GPS units and those kind of things. But we try to get the up-to-date information to our farmers and ranchers so they'll be as productive as possible and be able to stay in business. Is there questions that you have? And hopefully you can attend some of these activities. You're welcome at any of them, or just pop in if you want to, some of them.
Okay.
There are questions?
Any comments or questions for Leroy? Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Thank you, Commissioner Archer. Across the state and really our country, we see more and more growth of corporate farms and less and less family-owned farms. When you're doing your programming, what do we see in Shawnee County? Do we see really that same growth pattern of corporate farmers and less family farmers? Well,
A lot of the corporate farmers are family farms. You turn them into an LLC with two brothers and a sister or something. And so they're considered corporate, but they're still family. You're seeing more corporate, but you're also seeing the families. There are probably 90% of them are still family farms.
I know that in some parts of Kansas, large corporations have come in and really bought up huge swaths of land And really, it's one operation, and then you're working for the corporation as opposed
Yes.
to individual family farms. And I didn't know if that's something that we would see even in Shawnee County.
I haven't seen much, and we see it mainly in like the dairy industry or the swine industry, where they're putting these, maybe 5,000-10,000 head of dairy cows that they're milking. Those are a lot of times what the big corporations. Where right now, a lot of the family farms aren't wanting to let loose of it.
Okay.
So we haven't seen much of that yet.
All right, very good. Just information. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Bueller.
Don't want you to get away from the podium without us congratulating you and your family, the Kansas Farm Bureau Farm Family of the Year. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Well, it's well-deserved. You have a beautiful family. Tell them congratulations. But farmers are the hardest working group of people that I know. And my sister's a dairy farmer, and they are dedicated. But congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate the support of the commissioners. We couldn't do our programs here in Shawnee County without the county commissioners. So thank you.
Thank you again, and congratulations, Leroy. Next item, please.
Consent agenda.
There are 4 items on the consent agenda.
Have no questions. I'd move approval.
A second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
New business, A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Mr. Chairman, this morning we have vouchers that total $2,568,325.62. The highlights out of that voucher report would be our payroll at $395,230.50. We have allocations that we pay out to all of our social service programs here in Shawnee County, and this is a partial payment of the quarter, and that was $1,414,450.35. Might also note that we have American Pre-Sort for mailing, $120,000. Through the Parks and Recreation, we have Topeka Civic Theater at $51,000, and that's been a great partnership that we've been able to do with them actually coming back with money at different points. Also, we have with Public Works, key equipment and supply at $179,633. Of those items that I highlighted, they make up $2,160,313.85, and I would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve the vouchers as presented, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
And I'll second. Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 3, consider approval of resolution number 2017-4, authorizing a cereal malt beverage license, including Sunday sales to Glory Days Pizza, located at 4745 Northwest Hunters Ridge Circle.
Yes, and all the documentation is in order. Their
Yes.
taxes are paid.
Right.
So it's thoroughly done, as usual. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made to adopt the resolution by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Health Department. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-13-2017 with Kansas Integrated Public Health System, Inc. for the annual maintenance of the data management and billing software system at a cost of $7,060.13, paid from the 2017 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. This is our billing software. It's our annual licensing fee with them. It is included in our 2017 budget, and I will tell you that we processed over 10,000 encounters through this system last year. And we continue to get excellent support and customer service from them. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions regarding this contract?
I have no questions. I would move for their approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Consider approval of request to issue a smartphone to a breastfeeding peer counselor working in the WIC program at a cost of $35.80 per month and paid entirely by the WIC grant.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. This is a new peer counselor. We came to you last fall and asked to have consent to hire her. We just did bring a new peer counselor on board. They use these smartphones to communicate with their clients. As we know, that is texting, and that's the way that generation communicates, and thus we're forced into it also, I might add. But so we're asking to add another smartphone so that she can communicate with her clients. I will say that we had 1,145 babies born in the WIC program last year. So, and that's half of all births in Shawnee County and nationwide. So again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for?
I have no questions. I'll move approval.
I'll second. Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item, please.
Item C, corrections. Number 1, consider approval of request for out-of-state travel for 3 employees to attend the International Conference of Positive Behavior Supports at a cost of $2,726 from the 2017 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Before I get started, I almost started to laugh when Mr. Russell did mention something about drones, because probably one of the worst things my kids could have got me for Christmas was a drone. And so outside of my basset hound chasing it not very fast, or me running it into the next door neighbor's house, it's on lockdown right now, but it does. I will be able to offer that surveillance technology to them. But no, I'm asking for authorization to send 3 employees with the Shawnee County Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center to be able to attend the next PBS conference, which is in Denver, Colorado. We are one of the major areas that have started out with PBS and involving that in our Juvenile Detention Center, a different way to approach juvenile corrections. We have invested, although it be grant money, we've invested almost $50,000 in this program, and this is a conference that allows us to maintain our meeting the standards, understanding the next step in developing the PBS program, and also because of the success we've seen in Shawnee County, that one of our individuals is going to be presenting in this conference to be able to highlight what we're doing in Shawnee County, which that was one of the reasons that I wanted to send them. So we do have the money in our budget. We did look at this conference coming up. In the past, we used to have grant funds that would pay for these kind of things. Those funds are no longer available, so that's why we sit down with our juvenile staff and talked about budgeting for this up front and putting this in there. It is a very good program. Our staff have filled out the appropriate forms. They will provide a travel report, and I think this would be very beneficial, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I did notice that it is out-of-state travel. It is in Denver.
Yes.
Nobody's flying out there.
No.
We're jumping in a car.
Yes, right.
And driving out, and I think it's a good program. So I'll make a motion to approve the request. Are there any comments or questions?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0, and I look forward to that report
Absolutely.
when they come back. Thank you, Brian. Next item.
Item D, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-14-2017 with the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers to allow the department to utilize music during programs at sport complexes, aquatic facilities, community centers, and concerts at a cost of $1,772 paid by the 2017 Parks and Recreation operating budget.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. I don't really have anything to add than what she just read there. It's one of the costs of doing businesses at our facilities, and we factor that into our cost recovery of the fees that we charge at aquatic facilities, sports complexes, and community centers.
Yes, Commissioner Bueller.
John, are there 2 entities that
Yes.
we have to, so this is?
Yes. And I'm not sure, I'm drawing a blank on what the other one is, but
Okay,
BMI.
okay. Right. And so this is the only contract we're needing renewed for 2017?
no, the other one will probably come due at a different time. This one is expiring now.
Okay, all right, good deal, thank you. I'll move to approve the contract.
And I'll second as the alternative to John Knight Sings the Hits.
You're not getting a second, are you? Yeah. See, I'm a little more popular than you thought I was.
Okay, if we want to settle down for a moment. Motion made by Commissioner Bueller to approve, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, John. Next item, please.
Item E, Sheriff's Office. Number 1, acknowledge receipt of contract C-15, 2017 with Leads Online for a select search investigation system service package at a cost of $13,381.20 for the period of March 15, 2017 to March 14, 2019 from the state forfeiture account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Scott Askey from the Sheriff's Office. This program, Leads Online, is an investigative tool for our investigative division, primarily our detectives. It gives them access to all the pawn shop transactions in Topeka, and also in the United States, if there are participating agencies or pawn shops that enter the information, our detectives can go search that information. It's a good program. They like it. One of the unique characteristics of this program is citizens can enter their serial numbers for their property into Leads Online, and then that, if it was stolen, that it automatically brings up those items and alerts our officers. So I'll stand for any questions.
I have a quick question, Lieutenant, and I appreciate talking about this before the meeting, but do we have any statistics on how successful this is in recovering stolen property from people that are vandalized?
I don't have that information now.
Okay.
I could provide that to you at a later date.
Yeah,
The
I'd be
detectives-
interested to see how effective this is, because you hear so many times that people lose their property and never to get it back, and it may be a good idea to emphasize identifying your property and making a record of what you actually have.
I agree.
Okay.
And I will tell you that talking to the detectives before I came over here this morning is they do not want to lose this, as it's been very successful for them.
Okay,
So-
okay. Very good, thank you. And I'll make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the contract.
And I'll second, I note that it is paid for by the forfeiture funds. So,
Okay. Motion made to acknowledge receipt of the contract by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you again, Lieutenant. Next item, please.
Item F, Commission. Number 1, consider appointments of the Topeka Township Clerk and the Silver Lake Township Trustee, and to consider extension of the deadline for receipt of applications for the Auburn Township Trustee position.
Yes, Commissioners, we've had two people who have expressed interest, one in the Silver Lake Township trustee and the other regarding the Topeka Township. And nothing for the Auburn Township trustee. I would, what are your thoughts? Do you want to, I assume we need to extend the application for the Auburn trustee, and then for the other two, I would accept their appointments.
I would so move that, or second that
Okay.
if that's a motion.
Okay, it is, and to identify for Silver Lake Township trustee, it's Mr. Gregory Abbott, who lives at 4050 Northwest Hodges Road, and John Fowler for Topeka Township, and it does not give his address here, but, no, I'm sorry, reside at 2005 Southeast 53rd Street. So that was a motion by Commissioner Cook.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. How long
Okay.
for the extension?
We're just not having any luck with this,
Well, and
are we?
I,
Do you
I
have
did,
any
I
thoughts?
did, well, I did have a chance to talk to some of the Auburn Township officials at
Okay.
the breakfast yesterday morning, and they assured me that they would, hopefully round up some people that would submit their information. So
Okay.
I'd say at least another week. And-
How about we go to the end of the month, and then maybe bring this up near the end of the month? That gives some people some time to be approached, get their letter into us. We would have a chance to review it, and then if there's multiple candidates, to speak with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I think a motion was made by Commissioner Cook.
No, you made the motion, but I just said,
Oh,
my
okay.
my amendment
Okay.
would be by January the 30th is the end of the month.
All right. For the record. Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook, and cleared up by Commissioner Bueller.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, reflect appointment of Judy Moeller to the Shawnee County Planning Commission.
And I appreciate Judy stepping up, actually not stepping up, I asked her and she agreed. But for those of you who know Judy, she has been around this community a long time, knows a great deal of information. I think we'll be pleased to have her on the Planning Commission, and she agreed. So I think do I need to make a motion, or is it just reflection of?
I think-
Reflection of, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I appreciate Judy. I don't think she was going to be here today. I don't see her, but I appreciate her serving, so.
Absolutely. Thank you. Next item, please.
Number 3, reflect appointment of Bill Beach to the Expo Center Advisory Board.
And again, Stan Whaler, who currently serves on the Expo Center Advisory Board, suggested that I talk with Bill Beach. He was interested, and so I also reflect that appointment.
Very good. Thank you. And thank you to Judy and Bill for agreeing to serve under pressure, I would imagine. Next item, please.
Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that is a county holiday, so we will have an adjustment in our solid waste schedule. So I wanted to announce that. So Monday, there will be no collections on the holiday. Our Monday customers will be moved to Tuesday, the 17th, and our Tuesday customers will be moved to Wednesday, January 18th, and our Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday customers will see no change. So with it being on Monday, if they put it out on their normal day and it doesn't get picked up, it's because it's going to be the next day. So they just got to leave it out there. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I might.
Yes, Commissioner
Well,
Bueller.
Tom is at the podium. It's not often you receive a card like this, but I want to.
I get those all the time with that.
Do
logo.
you? Yeah. So this was addressed to Tom Block, Tom Flanagan, Craig Maddox, and myself. And this is actually a thank you card from the city of Willard. Your presence at our city council meeting was very much appreciated. We had the chance to meet with them before Christmas and give them an update on the bridge, just everything going on in that community. Because it's a small community, and the bridge construction is impacting it in lots of different ways. So I want to say thank you. You all did an excellent presentation, and I think most of their questions were answered. And again, I want to just thank the city of Willard.
But that was very nice to
It
receive.
was, to take the time to do
You're
it.
right. It isn't very often that people appreciate it that much that they take the time to send you a card. So that was very well appreciated.
That's true. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Commissioner.
Morning, Commissioners. Craig Barnes, Health Department. Just wanted to bring to your attention that January is National Blood Donor Month. And so in accordance with that, we are putting on a community-wide blood drive next Friday, January 20th, at the Health Department in our training room B from 10 to 2 o'clock. We still have a multitude of donor spots available. They can go online through the Community Blood Center and actually sign up for a spot. This is now the third year that we have done a community-wide blood drive along with National Blood Donor Month. And last year, we had 53 participants take part in that. So we're hoping to top that number this year. And by looking at the people who have already signed up for a slot, we look like we could get close to that this year. One of the statistics that I did want to share with you guys today that I found very interesting was that according to the Red Cross, someone needs a blood donation every 2 seconds. And so knowing that, we are really hoping that we can get a handful of additional donors this year to come out and donate blood. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the Iceman's coming up.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. There's a storm coming. I don't know if you heard about it yet. Some ice is coming in. I just was on the phone for the past little while with one of the residents in Topeka who's concerned for her elderly mother. She's 102 years old, and she takes care of her. No local family members to help her out. So she's really frightened about this. And I can't help but think that this is not just one single person in Topeka. So there's a lot of people who are concerned about what do I do if power goes out. I will tell you, in just preparation for this, working with meteorologists, National Weather Service, and other partners, they're prepared to get power back on. They're prepared to get roads clean. I mean, everybody does their job really, really well. Individually, as citizens, we had to take some steps and prepare. In this particular situation with this, the woman I was talking with, if you're in that situation and you lose power and you're worried about staying warm, one of the things you can do is find a smaller room, get blankets, use your body heat with each other to stay warm. It's going to be a limited time, so it looks like there's somewhat of a warm-up on Sunday. So this isn't going to be a long-term freezing type thing, at least not what we're seeing. So we'll have more information about 11 o'clock. We have a webinar. I'm doing a Facebook Live event with WWW this afternoon. So if you're needing information, don't hesitate to call us. We'll give you some preparedness information. If you have access to a computer, please go to www.ready.gov. Lots of good hints and tips there. So be prepared. It's coming, but it's not Armageddon. There's an end in sight. So please take care of yourselves and each other. So.
Thank you, Dusty. Anyone else for public comment? Commissioners? Commissioner Bueller?
I don't have anything else.
I have nothing other than we did have the opportunity to welcome the Farm and Home at the weed breakfast yesterday morning, and thank you to the weed department for their hospitality and all the township individuals for coming out and allowing us the opportunity to say thank you for everything they do for the weed department.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, I want to thank Leroy for coming in and particularly talking about the drone technology that's used in agriculture now. I've been reading a lot about drone technology in the construction business, and it's fascinating. But I haven't studied that much about the agricultural business, so I will have something to do this weekend while I'm spending time in my house. Again, Monday it's a holiday. We won't be meeting. Our next meeting will be Thursday. And please be safe, everyone. Please be safe. Next item, please.
Executive session.
There's not a need today for an executive session, so we are adjourned.